My friends, how is everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is Sherry. I'm so glad you're here. I have a fun little project today, fun little craft project, and I've been wanting to do this, so I thought today would be a good day. It's using scrapbook paper, not cardstock, but paper, and from some paper pads. So I've got two out here, as you can see. This one is Ruby, and I got this at Walmart. I don't know though if they have it in this particular one in the store. They have these type of paper pads in 12 by 12 and 8.5 by 11. So I had bought about a year or so ago all the ones that I liked that I found online, and I think they're more now. They were $5 or less each, and now I think they're $7 around there. So anyway, I had bought the 12 by 12s that I liked. They had several, and then I bought a couple of 8.5 by 11s, and these are pretty papery scrapbook papers or scrapbook paper pads, as you can see, and they're one-sided. So very pretty, like florals and things like that. Here's the cover if you want to see those samples right there. And so, like I said, and there's 50 sheets in here. It's a very good deal, even at $7. I guess I don't. It depends on what you want. Like if you want cardstock, scrapbook paper. If I want cardstock, I go to Michael's now, and wait for their $5.99 or $5 paper pads. So anyway, this one's called Luxe Bouquet. Right there, you can see right here what it's called. And in case you want to look for it. And then this one, now that was only a year or so ago that I bought those. I bought all of those a year or so ago. This one I bought a long time ago at Walmart. It was at Walmart and it was on clearance, and I bought a couple of these. I may have even bought 3, and I think I maybe used one up, but I still have 2. So, and they're all kind of, I think there was one different one that I already used up, and then I have 2. I don't know if they're the same or they're similar anyway. Really pretty paper, double-sided. Both of these paper pads are 8.5 by 11. So you can see these are a little bit darker floral, but they are floral. Pretty colors and everything. And I know they don't have this one anymore, but it's by Scrapbook. This one's called Garden Variety. Had 50 sheets in it, and I don't know if I've used any of this particular one, but let me show you the little craft I wanted to do today. It was simple, but a fun way, and something you can add to your stash. You can mass make these or whatever. Let's take one sheet out of each, not in any particular order or anything colors. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Just a way to use up some, and if you have bigger scraps, that would also be something to do with your bigger scraps that maybe you want to use up. If you have scraps this big, I don't know. I don't really have scraps this big, so I kind of don't think of this big of a piece of paper as a scrap. You know what I mean? Because it can be used for a page in a journal or whatever type of thing. This one has a little bit of a piece you're supposed to cut off here, so let me get that cut off. There's a line here, that we're, cutting line there, so let me get that cut off and add to my strips. I need to work on my strips. They're piling up. But there's that one. Let's see. This one I don't think has any type of hole or line, so you get to use the whole paper. So let's do the double-sided one first. So this particular one is directional. So here's the word dream, and on this side it also has words. And most of these in here though are not really, I wouldn't call them directional like this one here. Let's take this one out too, just to see the difference and how they come out. I'm just, I think these will be fun to have in my stash, and I think they'll be really pretty and just easy to make a bunch of them if you wanted a bunch, or maybe you just need one, or maybe you just want to use up some paper. So another strip. Okay, so for these two, let's do these two first from this paper pad. And this one's directional, this one's not. and decide. So I'm going to put this on the outside since it's not directional. And although this is very pretty, it is directional. So, and I'm just doing this. I'm going to fold it up to where I want my flap. And again, like if you saw the video where I made the map envelopes out of the actual folded maps, I cut pieces a little bit bigger than this to make those envelopes, but I did it in this same way. So, but here you don't have to cut anything off. You don't have to, do anything like that. You're just folding. But if you have, like, you can use any size paper to do this, of course, and just do the same thing. But I'm using this paper. If I didn't have this size paper and I wanted to make some envelopes like this, I would get my 12 by 12 paper and cut it to the size I want, If I had some papery paper, scrapbook paper, 12 by 12, which I do. And if I didn't have this, I would have gotten that out for this exact video because I wanted to do this exact craft. Make some papery, scrapbook paper envelopes. But I do have this 8.5 by 11 paper, so I figured let's use this first. So, and you can use any glue you want to glue them together. I'm using permanent glue stick, and so easy, right? And that's the bottom, and then you can leave the top squared off, or you can round the corners, which is what I've been doing. That's what I did on the map envelopes. So let's see how this turns out. I want to see, this is double-sided, so I think the inside will be, that's going to give you a pretty color look on the inside there. And that little design that was on this other side is down in there. You can't see it, which is fine. Like, say you have some paper with a design like that this one had on the other side, and you kind of like feel uncomfortable with it, making it into anything else. Maybe you want to make it into an envelope like this. And look how pretty this is. And there's no problem with mailing an envelope like this. All you have to do is, this is only what, this particular one, I'm saying 8.5 by 11, so let's see if it is 8.5. Yes, it is. So there's no problem with mailing. If you want to mail this and put like 1 ounce worth of paper or something in here and put a 1 ounce stamp on there, this would go through the mail perfectly fine. Put your little labels on here and mail it off to your friend or whoever. But so cute if you're mailing a little bit of Happy Mail or something. So I just love it. Now that it's an envelope, isn't it so pretty? And with your inside pretty color too. So that's that one. And that one was non-directional. So here's one that is directional. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to leave this, let's see. If I do this side, on the inside, it'll be like this. Just see with that little design there on the outside. So I'd rather have the words, this all over pattern, on the outside. So some of the words on the back will be upside down, but the front will be right side up. That doesn't bother me. If that bothers you, then maybe you don't want to use directional paper. Just use your non-directional paper. But it doesn't really bother me. So I'm just going to use this paper. I think it's still going to be really pretty. See, look how pretty that is. And this is upside down. And this is upside down. But it's still really pretty. And then here's the other side with all the words that are right side up. So let's glue this one together. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that, right? I mean, this is a good craft to maybe if you're going out of town or something and you want a little something to keep your hands busy when you're, you have some downtime wherever you're going or whatever. You always have a little bit of downtime. You could do something like this. All you need is, like, I'm not cutting at all. I only cut that little strip off the top. But, you could do that with scissors. You don't have to have a paper cutter if you're allowed to have scissors wherever you're going. Like, I know, if you're just going on a road trip, you can bring your scissors. Certain places, maybe like on a plane or if you're going on a cruise, you can't bring scissors. I found out that last time when I went on a cruise, I was going to bring a couple of things, like, and I said, can I, I asked my daughter-in-law because they go on cruises all the time, and I hadn't been on one in a very, very, very long time. And I said, can I bring scissors? And they said, no, you're not allowed to bring scissors. I was like, okay, I guess I won't be doing any cutting type thing. But yeah, I just think, or if you're watching TV too, even if you're just watching TV, all you need is a few things. You don't have to bring a big bunch of stuff down, or wherever your TV is. Okay, so here's this one. This one's done. I need to let that glue dry so it's nice and solid. So it dries fast, so it's already, when I pull on it, it's already not coming apart. And this permanent glue does work. This permanent glue stick, I've been using it for a long time now, and it does work. So it does stay. You know what I mean? So here's the inside where that other design was. It just looks pretty. There's that little frame or whatever, but that doesn't bother me at all either, that it's a little piece of that frame is sticking out there. I just think it just looks pretty. So there's the back and there's the front. And they don't all, like, my goal is not to, I'm not trying to make these the exact same size. See, this one, I actually, not on purpose, but just by coincidence, made it a little bit of it's a fraction, this one's a fraction bigger or taller this way. So, but look how pretty. Both very pretty. So let's make one out of the other paper now, the one-sided paper. And so we'll fold this up. And I'm just eyeballing it. So, however big I want my flap. You can have a bigger flap. You can have a smaller flap. Fold and fold. I am leaving a slight gap right here. So I'm not folding. And you can fold all the way. You can fold right there if you like that better. But I am leaving a little, like, 1/4 inch little gap right there in between the top of the envelope and where I'm folding this time. So on my maps, I did some like that where I left a little gap, my map envelopes, and then some I put right down to the other paper where I didn't have a gap, So, and I'm rounding all the corners, as you can see. And now let's see what this one looks like, because this one's going to have just a white interior, but I think, and this is non-directional. I am putting just the very slightest amount of glue here that I can. Like, I'm not putting this whole surface of glue here because that would take up, that glue area would take up more of the envelope. So I'm just putting it on the very edge. That's why I have this here, because some of the glue is going on here and I don't want it to go on my table. So I'm trying not to put it flat. I'm just kind of tilting it so I don't waste my glue and just putting glue all over this. But if it does get on there, it's going on here instead of my table. So see, it's starting to stick. I need to turn this over now. And actually, I'll just move it, turn it around, see if that works. So because I don't want it, still don't want it to get on my table when I turn it over. So let's get this glued together. And I am kind of just, if you want to use a bone folder, I have one right here. I just kind of just use my fingernail. But yeah, you can use your bone folder if you want on all the seams and the folds. That makes this a nice sharp little fold there. You can use your fingernail or whatever, scissors, whatever you want, whatever you have. Same up here on this fold. Nice sharp fold. And let's see what this one looks like. I think these are so pretty. And I will definitely use them. I could use them in a journal that's this size, or Happy Mail. Either one. Or I can, if you want them to be shorter, if your journal is shorter, you can cut off some of it and make them smaller. But look how pretty that is. And then, since it's non-directional, it's not upside down any which way. And the white interior. Very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, let's make one more of these. I've got time, I hope you do too, to make one more. That one was kind of almost a neutral flower. Let's make one with, find one with more color. Make one more. Let's see that. Look how, I mean, all these papers are very pretty. Here's one with a lot of color. Let's do this one. Like I said, I'm not, you know, I don't have anything in mind to use these for. I just wanted to use some of my papery paper to make envelopes, and all these would make, look how beautiful, very beautiful envelopes. So let's make one more. So this is kind of dry now, so I don't have to worry about my paper sticking down. Look how pretty that is. I just love that. It's got like a linen look background there. Okay, let's do it. This is so I really, this is a fun little craft if you don't want to, like, you just want to do something you don't have to think about, but you want to do something crafty. Maybe you don't know what you want to do. Just do something like this until you get your your mojo or your juices flowing to, you know, figure out what you do want to do. This is a good little in-between project craft. Just sit down and make some pretty envelopes like this. And you'll feel good because you have pretty envelopes in your stash to use, and you've used some of your things that you've brought home, right? Some of your pretty paper that maybe you've been wanting to use, and now you have made some beautiful envelopes. You could even get them ready like this and not glue them together in case you didn't know what to do with them. Get them ready like this, and you could always use this for a signature in a page in a signature in a journal. You would put it right here in your spine and then have it as a little flip over. You know, this would be your flip over. And there you go. Say, I don't know if I want to use this for an envelope or a page. There you go. Just don't glue it yet. But I wanted to make some envelopes, so I'm just doing this. But you can make a little, I have a little bin where papers that I folded fit, you know. I just stand them up like this. I've shown it to you, I think. I stand them like this. And sometimes I just feel like folding paper. I don't know what it is. I just even like to watch people folding their papers, getting ready for a signature, and just folding a bunch of papers. And so I've done that too. I've just folded papers and put them in that little bin. It's full. It's full. It's not stuffed full. I could fit more in there, a few more anyway. But yeah, just folding papers sometimes is kind of therapeutic, and you feel like you're doing some kind of craft, even though it's such a simple thing. So make some envelopes and make some pages, whatever you want to do. And let me get this off this paper now, because I think this is the last one we're going to make. I am actually doing this video in the morning before work. So that's how simple it is. I only had to get out a couple of, ingredients for my craft here today. And now I only have a couple to put away. So it's a good thing. And I've made some beautiful envelopes. So let's see. Oh, one more little crease here. This does help the flap to lay down if you make a nice crease up here. And actually, I can almost feel when I did this, where the glue was, I could almost feel it. Like if it was thicker in one spot, I could almost feel it. I think I did feel it, the glue spreading out. So just take that for what you will. And then let's look at, let me get this out of the way. And let's look at our pretty envelopes. Let's look at this one first. It has to have its spot in the limelight here. This is I picked it out because it was a brighter color. And it's beautiful. White on the inside. Okay, so here's what we made. I mean, this just sets my day up, And, you know, I feel happy that I did a little pretty craft like this to start out my day before I have to go and do what other people tell me to do. Now I got to do what I wanted to do for a few minutes here this morning. So pretty, right? So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week. And I'll see you in my next video.